I love when the gator at the end of the game, if the gator is one of the last hits, like on the last turn, if a gator hits, it looks like it just flexes on people. It's just like it flexes and then the other phobie takes damage. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. It's Sunday night, and it's now the post-tournament detox. We're going to be talking about a lot of phobies tonight. Maybe not playing so much phobies tonight, because I need to let my brain rest a little bit. We'll see how the night progresses, but let's jump in. So how's everybody doing out there, chat? How's it going for everybody? A level 17 Morty has 1,036 attack and HP. And it's way too scary. Seems pretty scary, Forgo. Seems pretty scary. The higher level phobies, like when you actually get to super high levels, are actually pretty frightening. Like, the numbers on them are actually pretty bonkers, which, I mean, yes, that's how math works, but at the same time, it still feels weird. Quick aside, everybody, before we get into the actual content, I was accepted into the Phobies Content Affiliate Program, the content creator program, you might call it. Shout out to the Phobies team, and thank you for that. But the reason I'm telling you, everybody out there, dear viewer, dear listener, is to let everybody know that I do receive some compensation from the Phobies team as a result of being part of that program. Now, I loved Phobies before, and I still love Phobies now, and I expect I will still continue to love Phobies in the future. So look forward to more Phobies content coming from Random's Thoughts. So now, on with the show. Ones from the other day. We're going to start, like I said in the stream title, we're going to be doing a lot of game reviews. And as I started out with, I don't know that we're actually going to play any games tonight. I am super tired. My throat is still recovering from, screaming about all the games. I was editing some of the stuff, getting the new Fright Night stuff ready. I think how I'm going to release it is each round is going to be a video, so it'll be like the 4 or 5 games that were for that round that we talked about. And then, just go from there. We'll play it by ear. She's a good girl, but she's a wizard because I don't know how she gets out of her cage. Hey, animals are, it's funny, and I'm sure you know this, but, animals are so smart. It's incredible. People, and I say this, not directing at anybody in particular, but just in general, people underestimate the intelligence of animals. They're like, oh, well, they're not a person. They can't really think. And it's like, no, they're pretty damn smart. They are smart, and they will figure stuff out. They will figure stuff out. That whole Mother Nature thing, yeah. Mother Nature does some stuff. But let's see here. Okay. First time facing off against Yeti. Our hero here is in the orange trunks, loading into Scopaceum. It is MOSCA. So MOSCA here is going up against, I believe, the currently #1 ranked async player. Is it Dio or is it Beer Pio? Piro. Actually, I think it's Beer Piro. I don't know what I'm saying, but Dio is pretty high up there, I believe. I believe that is the case. People will roast me on YouTube when this goes up, but whatever. Anyway, we get the standard opener from Bad Guy. I gotta turn down my sound. I don't know what's with my speakers. My speakers kind of suck lately. I'll turn them all the way up, and things will be, I can barely hear them. And then I have it turned all the way down, and it's still blaring, and I don't get it. Hey, Druid, what's good? Golden, dogewhal, welcome. So, we get the standard opener, like I said, from Bad Guy. We get a somewhat abnormal opener, but the easy death, unfortunately, from the cat. But this seemed like a bait. This seemed like bait because Bad Guy's snowball dies. Keep this in mind if you're playing on Scopaceum. It does definitely make sense to start with the snowball. You can cap this point. You could swing it to here if you get something valuable. I've caught jars. I've caught a number of different things. But in this case, the Quagmire was right there, and the whole point of Quagmire on this map, similar to Alligator, is you can just ignore the lava tiles for the most part. It's one of those maps that people constantly talk about tier lists. This sort of map is where those two phobies shoot up the tier list because they're just that strong. They allow you to have much more mobility than you would ordinarily. But in the meantime, we get matching hematic gin stings. Oh, by the way, and a Gonzo Bonzo. who was actually putting in a lot of work during Fright Night, which, by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, A, likes and subscribes help, but check out the links in the description if you want to participate in Fright Night, and of course, the Fright Night videos are probably already up on YouTube by the time this one does. Check those out. So we're just getting a little stray damage going down. Oddly enough, this Bachelor lives with 75 health, and we do see a Squiggles trying to inch its way over to the heart. I doubt it's going to matter. This seems like just an... This is a level 12 Squiggles, though. It's over 1,000 heart damage a hit. That's a lot. When I didn't know this map, my jar got stung by a snowball. It can absolutely catch you off guard. Squiggly Squiggles. You don't see Squiggles too much, honestly. I wonder if it's still just most people don't have it, or is it a matter of people don't like it? I'm not sure which it is. Ooh, here is the Yeti that was mentioned in the game notes. So, there are ways that this exchange up here favors MOSCA, depending on how it goes down. You know, for example, you could pop this to not have this get pulled out of position, hit this once, retreat, or you could swing down, kill this. There's a few different things. We'll see how MOSCA takes it. To show you the power of flex tape, I sawed this heart in half. Oh, God. Why is Yeti's face always red? I don't know. Is this a joke? I don't know where you're going with this, dogewhal. Like, are you asking why Yeti is this particular color palette? Or is this like a knock-knock joke? Like, why did the Yeti cross the road? Like, he's cold? I mean, he seems to prefer the cold. I think they just wanted... I don't know. I'm waiting for the punchline. If you're watching this on YouTube and you got a punchline, let me know. Is this face always red, or does it usually appear blue? I don't know that I've ever seen it blue. Pardon the portrait are blue-faced. Ah, you're right. This is true. There are a handful of phobies that don't align, like, in-game model to their card. There's a handful of things. It's not very common, but it does come up. So ultimately, we didn't get too much violence going down here. The Bachelor did eat it, but there's been some retreats and then a buildup of forces here. Clearly, bad guy is making a strong attempt in order to try and hard push. What I imagine they want to do is probably freeze, like, the Hevo in place or something, and then that way it limits the surface area for the defenders trying to prevent this push. Ultimately, I don't know that bad guy has enough damage. They're down 3-1 panic points, and they're not... You know, you can get Squiggles on there, but how much damage does Yeti do? 570, so it's not an insignificant amount of damage. It also has 2,500 health. Like, that's a fair amount. I think bad guy needs, now that they're down to 5 keys, they need more range stuff. They have a bunch of melee, and they're not really going to be able to hit the heart all that much. At the halfway point through the game, we are seeing a more aggressive defense. We're going to get the bees action coming down. Ooh, going for the Hematic Gin Sting. Body block on the heart, that's fair. Well, you're leaving the jar on the stem? No, you're not, because that Quagmire, really? So last turn, Bad guy moved this onto... Yeah. You moved this onto the stem to get a shot on a cowbell that you didn't kill. I guess here you just didn't... I love the small details people don't notice, like Minotaur's attack. I talk about that a lot, Golden. I love that. It's really cool on the Minotaur attack. But I talk about it more now that I unlock Minotaur. But I'm a little surprised by this positioning. I guess the assumption here is, like, well, they're not going to go in. But, yeah, they went in. So that yielded a dead Hematic Gin Sting and a dead jar, which is pretty significant, especially considering you backed everything up with a spider as the good guy here. By the way, Squiggle's attack is still just super unsettling. Ultimately, Quagmire eats it. I don't know that you needed that second attack, but it probably doesn't matter. Get the freeze on Hevo, which I did predict earlier, just not quite in that position. I'm pretty sure the freeze doesn't obstruct anything, so for example, Hematic Instinct can still get there. And ultimately, another cowbell went, or the cowbell went down. I think that's fine, like, this isn't that big of a deal. You're in a fairly decent spot, given what you are presenting as threats as the orange player. Still up 3-1 panic points. Your opponent's offensive is effectively, if not completely, broken. And now the rest of your points, well, almost the rest of your keys, get invested in a sheeping gas and an alligator. The positioning is a little weird. I get wanting the sheeping gas in the fray faster, because it can immediately connect with something that maybe is hitting the spider, but I don't know. Well, the 3-key Oopsie Baby and Baba Yaga's details are nice too. Yeah, we've talked about it a lot. I feel like a broken record, but I hope people don't hate hearing it. This is wild. Timeout. So we'll get this thought out, and then we'll come back to this, because this is a highlight reel play. So, I love the art in Phobies. I think the art team did a fantastic job, and I'm looking forward to new Phobies to get introduced, because this is insane. Some of my favorite details are Willy Billy sign flipping. Yeah, you can tell that the devs and the art team were in sync, and that everybody was having fun with Phobies, you know what I mean? I wouldn't hate hearing that at all. Jeeves would have done so much more than Yeti. I mean, what, in this scenario? I guess. I mean, yeah, you probably would have more traps, but... So, we're rewinding this turn because this is bonkers. This is a really, really cool heads-up play that is highlight reel worthy. So we have a melting Hevo, but you get the hit from the snowball onto your own Hevo in order to free up the Hevo from the ice block. This means that you're going to get an enormous amount of extra damage going down. And guess what? That alligator... Bye-bye, buddy. It's been nice knowing you. That's a really cool play. That is a really heads-up play here by MOSCA. Yes, you have a ton of things in fire, whether it's lava or otherwise, but you've effectively broken your... Like, you've completely broken your opponent. I didn't know that interaction existed, so the way it works, if something freezes, and it's not just Yeti's freeze, it's any freeze, Goncito. It's not on here. It's on here. So, Snow Cone reads, freeze an enemy unit, frozen units can't move or attack. Fire melts it by 1 round. So you can hit your own stuff. Now, this Hevo is at 333. Obviously, it would die if it got hit by the actual attack here, you know, from the fireball. But it doesn't take any damage. It will take the fire damage because, you know, you're standing in fire, but, you know. It's a really cool and important interaction. It's something that doesn't come up a lot, but can be very relevant. For me, for example, before I got Snowball, like I had Hevo 3.0, it comes up every once in a while. Clearly, it's not all that common, but it does happen. So in the meantime, our bad guy is fighting back as hard as they can. They are eliminating some Phobies and whittling the forces of our hero down, but realistically... There's too many good things left. You still have Hematic Ginsting, the sheep is still alive, Snowball, Gator, and you have another key. Yes, the Quagmire is healthy, it's probably going to be an annoyance sticking around. But at the end of the day, you just can't fight through this. We're going to watch the slow demise. This was really well played by MOSCA. I think it was also, and this is not, again, to beat up bad guy, but... There were some questionable Phobie movements, questionable Phobie choices, and it felt like... Maybe not questionable, but maybe... Well, I guess it is questionable, but more to the point, it felt like it was a risk that didn't need to be made. So, for example, when you rotated and put the jar and hit the cowbell, like... I have to imagine the thought went through bad guy's head of, well, why did... Like, I'm just going to get this pot shot. Why would they invade? That'll never happen. But it did, and then you got punished for it, and you got punished pretty hard. Yes, you were able to trade back and forth, and maybe they thought that there would ultimately be enough trading going on that they come out ahead. I'm trying to stay zoomed out so we can see all this, but it keeps trying to go to the heart. I don't know, it just felt as though a lot of the things that happened did not need to happen. From our bad guys' perspective, that is. I'm surprised Squiggles isn't a poison attack. It's got enough going for it, but I get it. Boss can also effectively unfreeze. Yeah, there's a few different fire phobies that can do it. Dio's through? Yeah, I think that's true. I think MOSCA made some really cool plays, and I don't want to take away from MOSCA's play, because I think MOSCA was making a lot of heads-up plays. I love when the Gator... Well, we'll come back to it, but GG, well played, MOSCA. Thanks for sending it in. I love when the Gator, at the end of the game, if the Gator is one of the last hits, like on the last turn, if a Gator hits, it looks like it just flexes on people. It's just like, it flexes and then the other phobie takes damage. It doesn't actually do the, like, backflip animation, which is really cool. But anyway, I agree, Druid. I think Dio's through more than... But... This sounds just derogatory, and I really don't mean it that way. But I'm going to say that I think Dio's through more than MOSCA outplayed them. That being said, at the end of the day, making less mistakes, playing solid, playing appropriately is outplaying your opponent. It doesn't have to be this cool, flashy play, although we did get that with that specific play. With the excuse me, with the snowball onto the Hevo. I gotta remember to clip that. Flexing is the best part of Alligator. True. Chad Alligator, exactly. Alligator, I loved Alligator from the beginning, but then I fell off from a strategic perspective. I still like the phobie, but Alligator was not one of my preferred phobies for a long time, because, as I tend to put it, it's just a big dummy. It's a big dummy who punches good, because it's just a mountain of hit points. It doesn't do anything flashy. It doesn't have extra movement. It doesn't have range. It doesn't have a displacement effect or teleports or whatever. It just does. It stands there and does stuff. But sometimes that's what you need. Sometimes that's what you need. But that was that snowball play I thought was really cool. Alligator kind of looks like Chomp. A lot of people have said that Chomp looks like a gator. I've been talking about it for a while. I may, at some point, I need to commission an artist, because I can't draw. I like the pixel art, but Chompers, according to my wife, is a T-Rex. I've had different thoughts about what Chompers was supposed to be when I first came up with the idea. I've told the story about Chompers' origin like 6,000 times, but... long story short, it's supposed to be a T-Rex. I had the original Random's Thoughts logo. It makes it more obvious because like you can see the whole form of the dinosaur. But I have some art in mind for what I want to get commissioned. And namely, it's Chompers as a necromancer raising undead dinosaurs. But I want him in like the Jurassic Park kind of pose, but with a hooded cloak on him. In my head, I can picture it. I need somebody to make it for me, because I am not an artist. I can't do it. And I don't mind paying them. I just don't, budgets. We'll put it that way. Thoughts on Boomer? I'm not a huge fan of Boomer. I'm just not. I had high hopes for Boomer. I thought Boomer was going to be really, really good. And it's just turning out, I don't know, I just don't care. It's the same sort of thing. It's like a worse Bachelor most of the time. Can't draw a gang? Yep. That sounds awesome. I mean, I hope people would like the idea, Druid. I think it's going to be cool. But we'll see. We'll see. I got to find somebody to do it. Because, commissioning art, especially if I was going to be using it as like a logo somewhere, so I need the rights to it. It can't just be, hey, I'm commissioning you to to make this picture for me, and I'm going to hang it on a wall. It's going to be, hey, this is my logo. This is what I'm going to put on things. I need it so that I can reuse it. You know, like I own all the rights to it kind of thing. And I don't know how much that changes things for artists. I mean, it obviously should and can, but, you know. All right, so we got a Cotter game. Ah, here it is. End of turn 15 was the most stressful turn ever in all the games I played. All right, let's see how stressful this game is. Our hero is Cotter. We're once again on Scopoceum. Hero is also once again zoning into the orange trunks. So for people that were asking about, are there any maps that are second player favored? Well, right now we've seen, well, we don't know for sure, but I'm going to go out on a limb. Chat knows for sure. Everybody watching this on YouTube knows for sure, but I didn't really pay attention to who won. I just clicked on the game. I'm super tired. So we'll see how this plays out. We get an abnormal opener from our hero. A little abnormal from bad guy, but I can understand what they're doing because they want to try and get the Klepto online right away, but I don't know why the hell they put it here. Like, I don't get it. But double flyers from our hero, that is unique. They did position correctly as compared to last game where we saw a cat get turned into Southern Barbecue real fast by a snowball. Here, it's going to be Hevo, which means that, yeah, you can trade with it if you want to. Well, not even really trade. Let's stressful how game this sea. Exactly, dogewhal. Something like that. I don't really... What? Like, I know what you're doing, but, like, what? Can you do his glob game? If it was submitted, I'll get to it. There's a big queue for the game reviews, as always. Gotta give everybody their own chance. So we're getting just a buildup of forces here. Rotations coming across the top, but we get the recap. So until this turn, it was panic point advantage orange, but just briefly. Both players look like they're on target to bank to 6. Obviously, we already have our orange player bank to 6, and our blue player is now doing so. Now, here's the unfortunate part. Bad guy controls the center. So Scopoceum is a map that tends to revolve around the center. Shocker, there's a lot of those. But here, controlling this piece of the map is super important because you can get this 3-to-1 advantage, and that pushes a lot of damage, obviously. It also allows you to potentially stage and invade on the heart. It also just locks your opponent out because it's difficult to come in because you obviously are going to have to respect the lava. If you don't have Honey Bear, you don't have Charon, you don't have Gator, Quagmire, that sort of thing in your forces, it's going to be a challenge. So we see an aggressive push. I don't know about this one, bad guy. This is kind of bold. I mean, I get it to a degree, but this snowball is just going to die, and you're going to trade it for, like... Well, I guess it'll be traded for 3 keys, probably Cat and Maggie. But even then, that doesn't seem good. Alright, so we get the inch up here. Oh, you don't even need the cat. So the cat comes in and is able to lay down some damage on Cyclops, which is good. What I think needs to happen, though, is you need to... Yeah, reposition the jar. Yeah, this is a good setup. So evening out the panic points, the only concern here is this. You get a Gin Sting that's about to start loading up the heart with bees, and you get a sheep that's inching its way up. Is there a reason Boomer's dimensional ability pulls but doesn't deal damage when he's killed? Yes. Boomer can't deal damage. Like, literally. If you look at Boomer's card, can't do damage. So the damage is based on the damage of the dimensionals. So, like, this will do 460 when the dimensional dies. That's why things like Eternal Night are so good as anti-jar, or even Stabby. They'll, roughly on level, they'll trade. But yeah, Boomer has literally no attack, so it won't do any damage. It's supposed to be a bodyguard because it's so tanky, but often, because it's just like a free movement, or your opponent, yes, they have to sink some damage in, but they can set it up, and then once it's low damage or low health remaining, Boomer becomes a serious problem. Who won Hakune? It was A-Trend, with Gamer 24/7 coming in second. Alright, so getting back to this, we do get some unfortunate positioning from our hero here, although I was just praising a lot of this stuff. It allows a bunch of stray damage to go down here. Why does this matter? Well, we get a low Meatballer, low Jin Sting, but this is still in range, so this Klepto could die here. Problem is like, look at this. This is a lot of damage going down on the heart. And we get a Klopster. Bad guy is all on this. They don't care about their... Like, you didn't even have to put the Klopster here. If you put it here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I assume this Jin Sting repositioned here so that it could interfere with this. But, like, the Klopster could burrow all the way to the heart. It doesn't need to be on the lava. And if it was there, it could also burrow to fight over here. I don't know. It just seems weird. I don't know why this Klopster's here. But anyway, we're getting invade on the Klepto. Not a big surprise. This seems logical. We're going to lose the Jin Sting on the good guy side after this. We're looking at... I want to check the hearts real quick. 87.75 to 63.54. I'm telling you, I wish we could have the health bars up at all times. Yeah, Brony shouldn't deal any damage either. It doesn't come up all that often, obviously, so I usually don't take notice. But Brony, you will get the animation from that or Boomer. Like, your Phobie still goes, ah, when it gets... you know, hit by the invisible attack, but it doesn't take any damage. So one thing to note about Sheep, this is still 589 damage going down. That's still 589 damage going down on this heart. And honestly, I don't hate the Cyclops killing the Murder Wing. I mean, that's all you can probably do, but it matters because it allows, or minimizes... prevents, not allows, it prevents the mobility for our orange player. Because look at this, it's a lot of melee stuff. So we get a counter Sheep hit, and get a Gesundheit inching up. This is kind of bold from our hero here. I get they need to reclaim the point, so that's probably what the effort is for, but at the same time, it feels like you kind of need to deal with this stuff and maybe rotate more. We are getting some damage going down, ultimately, on these Phobies, softening them up. So this is turn 15, which is the one that was indicated to be super stressful. So this is 44.69 on the heart. I think I know what's going to happen that's going to be stress, but we'll see. So, as expected, we're going to get an enormous amount of damage going down onto the heart. This is insane. 15.25. That is... yeah, that's fair to call that a very stressful turn. That being said, a lot of this is going to get cleaned up fairly quickly. Arguably quickly. You kind of need to kill this Sheep this turn, I think. You can't risk taking further damage. Only 5 keys left for the bad guy, 6 for our hero. But with even panic points, and I do appreciate the Primate sliding back here in order to lock down this point. This is a subtle play that matters because this way, bad guy can't recap the panic point. I have to imagine that a lot of counting was happening on that turn. 98 health. 347. Not the lowest hard health we've seen, but pretty damn close. Blinky's going to be the penultimate Phobie for our bad guy. I don't know about killing the jar. I don't know that it mattered, but they weren't likely to ever get the Pischetti into position anyway. And now we're just getting reinforcements. As long as our hero does not give up the center panic points, aka don't give up a panic point advantage, I don't think there's any way for bad guy to win. Like, look at this. There's just too much. There's too many things. This was pretty well played, Cotter. I mean, I would have personally probably reacted in a different way, but it obviously worked out, and maybe the line that I had would not have been successful. I mean, I was calling it out during the game. I probably would have tried to, you know, just go after their stuff much more quickly. Possibly thereby giving up the panic points. But I think I would have also invested in more one keys to try and run around capping the points. And ultimately, maybe my game plan wouldn't have worked out. At this point, there's just realistically no way for bad guy to win.
Taught and retaught as sure as torture. Those that fear you make you stronger.
Last turn, and then we're going to see the elimination on the Flopsy. GG, well played, Cotter. Well played. That was a pretty stressful turn. I have to give it to you. That's absolutely true. If you're watching this on YouTube and you're interested in getting your own games reviewed, hit up the Random Slots Discord in the video description. There are instructions in there for what you got to do. I can't speak. You probably heard this 100 times. But check the links in the description. Likes and subscribes help. I think you got it by now, YouTube. You've been around a little while. Alright, so I missed a bunch of stuff in chat. So what happens to a Grimes? Challenge the streamer. Alright. Alright. I'm pretty sure with Grimes, if it's buffed up, it just deals base damage. Very helpful for people like me to use Eternal Night a lot. Yeah, Eternal Night got a lot better for me when I leveled it up. Because then it was actually, you know, you can make people with jars think about it, not just, oh, well, I'll just kill this thing and it doesn't matter. And Hevo can kill the Cyclops into hitting the Pescetti, and the Pescetti can just spit on and run away. Yes, I don't know which term it was. Flopsy's team flop? True. I still haven't played today because when I closed my eyes, all I could see was Phobies. That's how I am all the time. I find myself humming the, like, menu music sometimes. You know, like I'm walking the dog and then it just starts playing in my head. I unfortunately won't get Some of All Fears in the first week. Womp blah. I haven't even played a game yet, Akune. Like, legitimately, I haven't played an arena game yet. The only reason I have a ranking, which is a down rank, in Async right now is because I had a bunch of games that were going to end at the end of last season. And there was no point once I hit gold rank, so I just kind of sat on the games and waited for it to roll over the season. So I started off with a bunch of losses, but I don't care about Async at all. It's time to duel on level 1 Decay. Alright, dogewhal. Eternal Night leveled up while being played while so busted. Yeah, Eternal Night is real good. Eternal Night is real good. Alright, so we're going to have to remove some more people. Whoop. If you see yourself getting removed on the YouTube video, it's not personal. Just got to make room for the viewers. So, dogewhal, send me a frenemies. If you want to go first, go ahead. If not, then let me know and I'll start the game. 128 games already? Jesus, Akune. You just poop socking it for the first week? I had to focus on Fright Night, so I was like... Invite sent. The frenemies invite or the or the game invite. I don't think unless you have a different, do you have a different game name in game? I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why it's not coming through. There were some issues yesterday with people having problems. Let me restart the client, just in case. It's dogewhal, alright. Paku spam. I don't know what that means, Pustalone. I hope I'm saying your name right. Alright, let me send you an invite. Dogewhal. All the frenemies. See if you get it. Maybe it's not working. I'm making some big progress on this Lego build, kind of a minifig size with little legs, big gorilla arms. What are you making, Sgrunkly? Like, is it literally a gorilla? Wait, it's a minifig size, but you're making it out of Legos? I'm confused now. Oh, lie, you've really grown on me in the last few months. I've known about you for a while, but now I learned you stand by your beliefs and madly respect it. Well, thank you, Golden. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And I hope everybody else out there is enjoying it as well. Tonight's a little bit more low energy than than it's been in the past. So now you'll constantly make the same event with the same prizes every week/month. I have to talk to the devs. So after this game, remind me, Hakune, I'll explain what's going on. It's kind of involved. And we'll see. I like the discussions and consistency more than anything. Well, I try to be consistent. The discussions, honestly, I mean, a lot of it is I'm just stating real life experience. Like I've been playing games, competitive, especially competitive turn-based games, namely card games, for so long that it's one of those like, well, I guess I'll impart knowledge. That's a thing that I can do, sort of. I mean, I can just repeat what's happened, and it's more like, please learn from my mistakes more than anything else, as compared to like, here's an enormous golden wisdom, you know, like so it's me just either that or it's chat prompting things, and I try and work through things logically, no matter what. I mean, I would like to believe most people do that anyway, but it does afford, hopefully, at least the thought process to people. I collect brickheads and Funko Pops. Okay, cool. I've seen some Funko Pops that I like, but I've never actually gotten any. Well, I take that back. I think my wife and I might have one. But I like action figures. I actually was doing, we'll call it a photo shoot earlier. Where I posted in Discord. I was doing a Gears of War picture that I actually really like the composition of. I just can't quite get it right. Like maybe this is one of those things, like you make something and then it's like you will forever see the flaws. You just can't unsee the flaws. This is a Chuck. Jesus. Yeah, I don't understand. Most are scared to speak their minds and only talk about little turn being made, weak commentary. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to do it, to be honest. Like, and I'm not saying that from a, like, man, I'm so good at this. But, like, it is a challenge to try and play and communicate at the same time with chat. And it's not trying to pat me on the back either. It's just, it's not something that everybody wants to do or everybody's willing to do. The only thing that I'm glad that I do is I'm more than happy to talk about my losses, because at the end of the day, losses, like, as antiquated as it may sound, pain and losses are excellent teachers. Arenas, yeah, it can be tough to multitask. Yeah, I mean, admittedly, I'll tilt. It happens. I'm only human. Chuck in the building? Yep. But yeah, I'm more than happy to elaborate on anything that people ask about for the most part. I mean, we've talked about a variety of topics ranging from literal politics to organized religion to obviously Phobies plays, other gaming topics, other genres, the business end of things, my opinions on the business end of things, which may or may not cycle back to politics. You get where I'm going with it. So we can't really threaten this stuff right now. So Chuck can hit the Klepto from where this is. This likely doesn't work, but we have to try because it's a strong enough play that if it works, we might end the game on the spot. Make a podcast type playlist or channel in the future. Hit us with future Mr. Chomp. So I do actually have a SoundCloud. That's where the channel started from. My wife and I were doing a WoW TCG podcast for a few years, and then just real life caused things to fall off. Then I started doing streaming when I got involved with the Transformers TCG. And, yeah, there's no way to make this happen. If only we had a yoink. So you can definitely check out Random's Thoughts on SoundCloud. I haven't gotten rid of the channel yet. I was considering it because there is a cost behind it because I have one of the higher plans. Obviously, everything's super dated because, like, the last episode, like, what we were doing was for Transformers is we would record the podcast on Twitch live, and then I would pull it for SoundCloud as well as my own YouTube channel. So, like, the Vector Sigma channel, we get it. Give me 1 second. Let me figure this out. Wait. Sorry, I had to think for a second. I'm too tired to, like, try and do a lot of stuff. Do I have Heartbreaker? No, I don't. So, yeah, I would pull it for SoundCloud, and then you'd have an audio version in this. I know a lot of people listen to the YouTube videos as podcasts, essentially, so I'm perfectly fine with that as well. I would like to do more stuff like that. It is much easier. Like, just the recording requirements are much easier. I could record with the lights off, for example, which reminds me, I didn't turn this light on. I don't know if that's affecting the green screen or not. I didn't check. But there are a lot of things that I could do differently with that format. I've considered reaching out to other content creators to try and create a Phobies podcast, but I want to have like 5 or 6 episodes mapped out in my head of what we want to do other than just interviews. I had tried to get that interview with the Phobies dev team, and it just never materialized. I still haven't gotten answers. It's going on a couple months now, so I don't think it's happening. It's the bottom line. Only had Heartbreaker, then you just throw them in the holes. Exactly. Lego has minifigs. It's slightly bigger than them, and I'm in a Lego Bionicle phase right now, so I'm really feeling the need to make a Lego mech robot. On a side note, the arms are bigger than the torso and the legs combined. Foul game? Maybe. Foul would probably be pretty good here, I'm not gonna lie. Can I just kill this? I could have checked the number ahead of time, but... I think we kill Quagmire here. Truthfully, I don't know if that's worth it, but... Because this is going to hit it twice, this is going to hit it twice. Like, this is probably a dead Rambolina. But it's worth it for the boop, chat. It's worth it just to boop. Always worth the boop. I mean, it's true, Luffy. You gotta do it. Phobies dev team is investing all the Phobies money on pool parties. That would be pretty funny. You boop and they get scooped. Maybe, Doge. We'll see. We'll see. Repeller, the one I'm missing. I've actually used Repeller in a few different async games now. Yeah, this is absolutely a dead Rambolina. Like, key-wise, it probably wasn't worth it. Tempo-wise, it might have been. I don't know. That's a Mr. Tramples, though. That's a Mr. Tramples, though. Oh, good God. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I don't think they're going to end up here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I don't think they can hit the jar to kill it. Plus, they have to kill this first. We'll bring out the foul. Normally, I would have gone pterodactyl. Normally, I would have gone pterodactyl, but we'll go with foul. This is risky. I want to do it, but that's very risky. I think we're okay. Foul's not bad, some nice damage, exactly. I mean, the reason chat was suggesting it, and I kind of agreed, was for the Chuck, but getting foul to connect with Chuck is going to be a challenge. If I had any good mechanicals, I'd probably have an answer to the foul. The lack of good mechanicals leaves openings to disease. Fair. What if there was a Headless Horseman phobie that had the rush ability Mr. Tramples has, but leaves fire in its path and has a melee attack? I don't want to say I'll be surprised if we don't get a Headless Horseman, but it's... How would I put this? The Headless Horseman simultaneously feels too obvious, and they won't do it, and just obvious enough that it's like, yeah, you clearly do a Headless Horseman for the Halloween expansion, I'm going to call it, right? Because we know that's coming. I think the Headless Horseman would be awesome, but you know, who knows? Who knows what machinations lie within the minds of the Phobies team? We're getting the inching up here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We gotta move the jar. We'll leave the murder wing where it is. We only have 5 keys remaining. I don't think foul belongs here. This can hit this, and Chuck can hit this. It'll be, and then 1, 2, 3, 1... Actually, 2 things can hit it. 3 things can hit it, I mean. We're playing it safe. I don't want to lose something unnecessarily. We have a 4-to-1 panic point advantage. Our opponent has to do something. We need a Halloween boom, Jack-a-boom. That would actually be pretty cool. That would actually be pretty cool. A 4-cost boom. Forgot the name of the horror movie back in 2007. He's a little character. What's his name? That could have been an awesome phobie. Be more vague, Thinny. Name a horror movie from 2007. I don't know. Chad, help him out. Somebody check IMDb real quick. What horror movies came out? I mean, there have been a lot of Chucky movies. Was there one in 2007? 1, 2, 3. So if we yoink this, the Chuck can hit it. There have been like 80 Saw movies, which I didn't know. I actually liked the first 3 Saw movies. I didn't know there were so many. 4 or 5 costs would be perfect. Maybe an evil laugh when it explodes too. There has to be something with a big mwahaha laugh coming. Like, there's just no way there isn't, right? This can get hit by a lot of stuff, but if we eliminate 2 phobies, maybe we're okay with that. We got 5 keys left. Chat made me upgrade Cyclops, so I've legit been forcing it in a bunch of games. That it probably doesn't belong because chat said, you must upgrade Cyclops. I'm like, alright, chat, whatever you say. Chat's wish is my command, apparently. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so this spot, they can hit it. Traffic sign, man, that might have been bad. Good play, Repeller. I was considering Repeller, but I think we want to be able to pressure the heart more. I didn't realize that could die. I legitimately didn't double-check the number here. I just assumed it was going to live. Obviously a mistake, but... Whoops. Whatever. You got me. Otherwise, I would have positioned it, like, here. No, I would have got hit by 2 things then, so that wouldn't have been better. Chat, we get some funky chicken. Get 'em. I've said it before, but that is probably the only animation in Phobies that I do not like. It's fine, but compared to... And I think it's legitimately because all the other animations are so good that the foul animation just feels subpar comparatively. If we get a Jack-a-boom, it has to leave fire and an explosion or smoking gun has failed us. Dogpile Chuck? Yeah, that's basically what's going to happen, Luffy. No, the movie's called Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat, Wreck, Halloween 2, Alien vs. Predator, Requiem, Bunch, Little Dude on the Lollipop. Wait, what? I was gonna play Brony. How long until we get a Krampus phobie, though, chat? When's my Krampus phobie? I mean, real talk. Tell me Krampus doesn't fit. We were talking about bad horror movies. I actually wanted to see the Krampus movie just because I assume it's so bad that it's entertaining. It could just be atrocious, and then it's like, it's not entertaining either. It's just bad, but I don't know. Get a little more funky chicken going. The problem is, Sgrunkly, is that if they do a Christmas, if they do a Halloween one, that's a very short gap till Christmas, and there's a lot of... I know they're a Canadian company, but, like, there's a lot of holidays. I don't know if they're all based in Canada kind of thing. Like, what if they have Americans working in some of their offices? The holiday season in general at the end of the year. GG, well played, dogewhal. Like, there's a lot of challenges with pushing an update around Christmas, and here's the other problem. This is a general thing with game design. So anybody watching this on YouTube, this is a talk that comes up every once in a while. But the rule of thumb is you do not push updates when people are not available. Like, you don't. It's just asking for disaster. If you launch a game, like on Christmas Eve, you are almost 100% guaranteeing that your entire team is going to be working through Christmas and New Year's. And guess what? That just breaks a team. Yes, people will do it because modern work culture is asinine. But the fact of the matter is that you shouldn't be asking people to do that stuff. And those aren't the only holidays. Don't get me wrong. It's not like, oh, well, Christmas is this sacred thing. No, it doesn't matter if it's a different religious holiday or it's other things. You know, like, this happens every year. You know what I mean? Pick a religious holiday, pick a federal holiday, pick another holiday, whatever. Like, choose other times and days. It is not a good idea, because here's the other thing. Let's assume that your team is both willing to work, comfortable working, and everybody's actually happy about it. They all hate Christmas. Let's just say that's the case. That's clearly not going to be true. But let's assume that's the case. They don't want to see their families. They don't want to take days off. They hate the holiday season. They just want to work. Great. Well, what about your hosting provider? What about your internet providers? What about your other staff? There were other vendors that are involved. So, like, what if AWS goes down and you're trying to do your launch? AWS is going to have less people on staff because they're a big company. You know what I mean? Like, these are the things that you have to consider, and that's why, and I know chat's not putting it this way, and I hope nobody on YouTube is thinking this, but, like, anytime I see a comment where it's like, well, why don't they just do this? It's just like, because they probably have a good fucking reason. Like, that's the bottom line. And it's, yes, our devs, and when I say devs, I'm not literally meaning the developers, because there's a lot of different titles and hats that get worn. But when I say devs, I'm just lumping everybody together. Everybody on the team is developing the game, is kind of where I'm going with it. All of them are involved. And yeah, maybe there is somebody who's just not a brain surgeon on the team. Or maybe there is somebody who's actually lazy. Maybe there's multiple somebodies. But nobody knows that except for the people on the team. And odds are, it is not somebody being lazy. It's not somebody being a dummy. It's not somebody personally screwing you, random anonymous internet person, because who the hell are you? Or me. But at the end of the day, it's either they made a mistake or there was somebody on high. Odds are it was somebody up at the top of the food chain, like somebody way up there, that comes down and says, you will ship this game on such and such a date. And the response is, but there are bugs. And they go, I don't care, ship it. Those are the sort of things that you deal with. So it's important to... I don't know what the Phobies team's cycle is, but I would imagine after Halloween, we're not going to get anything until the beginning of the year. Probably February is my guess. Which would be weird because the game launched in March, so it's this weird timing where I have to imagine they're going to want to do something for the 1-year anniversary. But doing things with roughly... Like, if they do it with 3 months... If we get the Halloween update in September, and then a very early December launch for the follow-up, then you could say, okay, March is the next quarter. I don't know. I mean, this is all speculation. They wouldn't tell me this anyway. Content affiliate, you know, hashtag sponsored. See it in the, probably below me in the title, but anyway. So there was another discussion point that came up. Hey, Postalone, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. I know, Akune had something. I think, oh, yes. Akune, I think, was asking, am I going to run Fright Nights all the time? So, maybe. Yes, thank you, Postalone. So, maybe. We're going to try and run Fright Nights as frequently as possible. I owe the devs some documentation. I do want to do my write-up. Real-life scheduling is going to get complicated for me in the future. Like next weekend, I think I'm going to miss a day streaming because I got some real-life stuff I have to take care of. But, and also at the end of the year, as you'd imagine, there's probably going to be some oddball dates like we were just talking about. But I do want to run more Fright Nights. I do have a survey out to the players. If you are not currently followed on Twitch, hey, hit that follow and notification button. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, likes and subscribes. Comments also help. But if you hit up the Random Slots Discord, chat will fill you in, or you've already heard me say it's in the video description. But there's a survey for the players. There's already been people who didn't play, that wanted to play, that filled it out, and that's fine, because getting their feedback is also important. There are a lot of potential changes, and I'm going to do a big write-up. I may do a video about it too, just because people like different formats. When I say write-up, I mean literally I'm going to put an article on the website about it. And talk about lessons. Shut up, Lippy. Jesus. Not now. Not now, Lippy. Shut up. Shut up. Shutting up. So I want to explain, like, what were the challenges? What were the things that I knew going in? Did anything unexpected happen? What could be changed for the future? That sort of thing. And I do want to possibly modify the format going forward. I would like to make it a monthly recurring thing. I don't think the devs are willing to do it more frequently than that. I don't know. That's one of the things I have to ask them and talk to them about. People wanted more Lippy, now they want less Lippy. I wanted Lippy to be in there, but I would like a slider or a mute so that, like, it isn't so constant. The thing is I tend to ignore Lippy, except when I'm losing and then it tilts me. If you could change the frequency, or like, oh, he only talks to you on this screen but doesn't talk to you in game, or vice versa, or mute both, whatever. Like, give me some options. It's funny because I suggested those ideas and people all downvoted it. And then DT put it in like 10 minutes later and everybody upvoted it, so I guess everybody hates me. I don't know. But anyway, back to the tournament thing. I got to talk to the devs, find out what they're willing to do prize-wise, because I want to offer prizes. We also have to figure out, like, logistically, there are problems. There are problems with the current format where, I mean, I'm tired today because of yesterday. And there were players that were playing, like, the event started for certain players at 10 p.m. And it ran for, like, 10, 11 hours.
Lovely. More turns to take.
Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit. It might have been 9 or 10, but, like, it was a long-ass event, which we were expecting. And people knew it going in. So the suggestions have been ranging from do single games, not best of 3. Get rid of the map bans, but keep best of 3. You know, obviously, if we go to best of 1, we can't have map bans. Then there were people saying do it on multiple days. Other people want async. Other people love arenas. Nobody has said they dislike the level 1 Phobies yet. But point is that there's a lot of variables that we're going to have to look at. I want to do more. I don't plan on having the big gap that I did between Fright Night 2 and 3. Honestly, I was waiting for Frenemies Arena to start Fright Night up again, because the challenges with running it over the course of multiple weeks. Like, here's the thing. It's great to say, oh, well, if everybody's all over the world, we can't figure out scheduling. Well, let's just run the tournament over 2 weeks. We'll do 2 or 3 days is round 1, and then 2 or 3 days is round 2, etc. That sounds great on paper until you realize that there's a number of people which will hold up the entire event and cause other problems that if you just have somebody who straight up won't answer. Or what happens if real life you just can't schedule and both people can't connect? Like, it's not one person just MIA. If it's 2 people who are having problems, because guess what? I was talking about this yesterday. If you have people that are 12 hours apart, somebody's playing at like 4 in the morning. Or trying to rush it before work or rush right after work. You know, like, honestly, doing the single day events are easier from that perspective, even though it excludes certain time zones. So possibly maybe we just change the time zone. There's a lot of things to consider. So bottom line is, yes, more Fright Nights. Will they be the identical Fright Night? Possibly. We'll have to see. I'm the only one that don't like level 1 Phobies. Well, did you put that in the survey, Forgo? I don't know if you were playing. I honestly don't remember. I don't have the survey up right now either. I'm fine with other people putting it in. Just, if you don't play, or you didn't play, put in, I didn't play. Or, you know, if you're not actually, and I'm saying this now, since it's on the internet, I'll get all kinds of responses, but, like, if you're not actually going to play in one of these freaking events, like, I'm not going to lie, I don't care what your opinion is. Like, it means nothing. Where's the survey link? It's in Discord. I posted it in Fright Night yesterday and pinged everybody, although admittedly probably everybody ignored it because there were 7,000 pings. Isn't the challenge limit 2 per person per stream, dogewhal? 2 per person per stream. So the problem with that, Golden, is you do need to have the entire event as uniform as possible, or otherwise there's the potential for match fixing. It's like, oh, we played our game and I lost. Well, yeah, because that person's 80 million stress levels over you and they quote-unquote bought the win or something. I mean, somebody could throw the game anyway, but it does make it so that there isn't... It minimizes the potential for somebody throwing a hissy over something. No, I didn't join because I don't have a buff phobia. It'd be kind of hard to deal with. No, that wasn't directed at you, Forgo. I meant in general. That was more royal you of, like, if somebody wants to comment on the event or something, it's fine. And I'm more than open to feedback, even from people that won't play, but I'm going to value the players' feedback more because they are the customer. They are the person that, the people that I want to serve, as compared to somebody who's just on the sidelines watching. So it wasn't directed at you, Forgo. Need my vengeance later? All right. All right, chat. Let's get back to some more game reviews. We got to get through at least 5 tonight, and we still have the Fright Night finals to go over. A-Trend did... Wait, did we do a Kratosss one this week? No, we didn't. A-Trend did favorite the game, so that way I can find him easy, so we're going to do that tonight. We'll go into YouTube mode and all that fun stuff. Alright, so we're zoning in with Kratosss, our hero, in the blue trunks onto RCO? Really? This is back from the 22nd? It isn't that long ago. Whatever. The game notes: a really close game. Crocodile takes the win versus Beauty. Alright, alright. Although it's an alligator, Kratosss. It's literally called alligator. I get it. Like, I understand, but it's just funny. Anyway, we get a droney opener from our hero, which is interesting. Going with a very powerful opener here, capping a bunch of points. This is cool, too. Instead of capping this point like I was expecting them to, they're instead defending this cat, which is pretty cool, because you can't advance with the cassowary in order to take out the cat, because you'll just die to the murder wing. Gator victory against Beauty. Yeah, I'm anxious to see how this plays out. For me, work gets in the way, and I don't know if it's good for my phone. Fair. It's understandable. I'm working on some other ideas, but again, stuff's cooking. So in the meantime, we're getting a back cap on the points. That droney's going to sit there for a while until a flyer comes out. Inevitably, our orange player will probably drop out a murder wing or something. But Bozo the Clown here, Bo Mangles, is inching up. This is... So this is able to snipe the cat and recap this point. The droney is vulnerable. Obviously, 448, it dies to... Wow, it dies to an exact bee's attack or the cassowary. But either of those, you're willing to sacrifice droney to do that, I think. The only thing I might have done if I were... Okay, never mind. I was going to say maybe you put the cat down here, but then the cat could die to these two. But the jar means that you're able to threaten this point if the cowbell goes in anyway. So we do get the bees, and then the cassowary... Ooh, it doesn't recap, which it shouldn't because it would have died. If the cassowary was on this point, Bo Mangles and the murder wing, or probably even the jar, ensure its demise. Thinking about some pot roast? Now I'm thinking about pot roast. I'm hungry, Chad. Ooh, alright. Wow. How often, time out, how often do you see 5 panic points go one color on this map? Hey, Honda, kind of miss seeing you play the game and getting tilted. Everybody loves when I tilt. We will. We're just taking it easy tonight. Obviously, tomorrow's variety. I have some ideas for what we're going to be doing. I think it's going to be Mythgard, but we'll see. Alright, so here's where bad guy is now banked to Beauty. The forces that our good guy has are not going to quite be enough right now, but we know what's coming down the pipe pretty soon. A bunch of damage is going down on the Jin Sting, and it does eliminate the cowbell here, which is relevant. And then we get a Noxious follow-up. The Noxious is pretty cool. We'll see if bad guy answers with any kind of cleanser here. But we're obviously going to get a dead murder wing here, but no bees, I don't think. Oh, they did have bees. It was back online, so that's a double kill there. That hurts. I don't think this was worth it for the positioning. Like, you could have hit the Jin Sting once and then backed off. But this does mean that you get the double poison going down. You get the double poison going down, and you can't hang out here if you're bad guy. But they do have 6 keys remaining, 3 in the bank, so a Clinico is likely in the future. I'm pretty sure Kratosss and therefore their opponents would be roughly around that stress level. I'm not sure. Chat, you're making me hungry. Talking about all that food. There's the Clinico. One day I'll get Noxious. We'll eventually. Gator's next turn. Yep, Gator's got to be coming soon. So we do get the cleanse. 3 keys left for bad guy, 7 left for our good guy. But again, look at the heart. 1625 to 6800. Bad guy, you got to do a lot with very, very little. While I can agree that yes, Alligator had something to do with this. Realistically, I think it was the fact that Kratosss was able to hold like 5 panic points for multiple turns, or at least 4. There were a bunch of turns in this game where the majority of the board was blue instead of orange, and therefore, bad guys just in an enormous amount of trouble. We get a bunch of damage going down. As long as you keep bad guy occupied, honestly, I take this back. I don't like the Noxious going in. I think the Noxious should have gone Heart. It's possible it would have died, because it would have got hit by this twice, so we'll say 500, 11, 16. It possibly dies. And you only get 448 on here. Maybe it wasn't worth it. But Noxious is able to reclaim that top panic point. There's no way, unless Beauty goes back here and sits here, to prevent Noxious from getting to the heart. Non-Recordoki. I hope I'm saying your name right. I feel bad when I mispronounce people's names, but thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Alright, so bad guy does make the appropriate move to body block here. Obviously, they would immediately die if they did not. But ultimately, Gator is in fact able to cap this point, and of course we get the splash from Noxious. I don't think they can kill this Noxious and reclaim the point. I take it back, yes they can. But 164 health. Okay, maybe Gator is the answer here, because look at this. Yeah, Gator's going in. You got a body block with both of these here. And even then, you can still just go to the cap a point. You can still just cap a point here. Scheme holding. I don't know about that. I mean, yeah, Jill is in game. And GG. GG. Well played, Kratosss. Okay, I take it back. It really was the panic points, but Gator did matter there. There aren't too many Phobies that would be able to do what Gator did. Basically just be a mountain of hit points. So GG. Beat the Beauty with the Gator. Well played. I still really want Pterodactyl because I need a good range flyer. Murderwing and Ray Chargels are my only range flyers. Murderwing obviously is really good. Ray Chargels is, you know, it's alright. But yeah, Pterodactyl's really good. I go in and out of love with Pterodactyl, but if you ask me and I'm being level-headed, it's good. Safe to say the enemy got flexed on? Yeah, nobody can quite flex like the Gator. Did Luffy do his Santa thing? Yep. It was after you went to bed, Onda. Feel like the Beauty came out because they opened it from a pack and just forced it? That's possible. That's possible. Yeah, Luffy, how's your back? We had a couple of people that got hurt, a couple of people in chat that got hurt at work. I hope everybody's doing better. You can kiss the Gator if you're brave enough. Will you kiss Fiona? I don't know if people can see her. The green screen might be doing it. I just knocked Crocmaster on the floor. I need to do some well, I have to ship my pile of loot because a couple things came in. I have Commando Snake Eyes with Timber. I'm super excited to get the good boy. And I also have my Studio Series Cyclonus. And there might be one other thing. And I still have my Storm Shadow model kit that I got to put together. I did the Windblade and Snake Eyes one. Not brave enough? Yeah, it might be a big risk to give Fiona a smooch. Fiona is very beautiful. It's true. It's true. I'd like to see a new regeneration phobia to see how that phobie's flexing. That would be cool. Pterodactyl's not the only phobia I have. It makes a big difference. I need some new ultra rares. Don't we all, Radizio? Don't we all? Alright, we're going to jump into another game review, chat. If you are not part of the Discord, ! Discord on the live stream will get you into the Discord. It'll give you the link. If you're watching this on YouTube, of course, it's going to be in the video description. You can always come by the live stream, RTChompGG over on Twitch. And likes and subscribes, and if you're here on Twitch, follows do definitely help. Follows, hit the notification button. I got to get in all of that nonsense while I can, while we're doing stuff. So we're coming up on what looks like an Sgrunkly replay. Yep, just double checking. Trying to stick to the rule that you don't get double replays per week. Yeah, we wanted to have a cool evil laugh too, Honda. I just got Boss and Yeti. Nice, Thinny, grats. Whenever I think of video game crocodiles, I think of Guapo from Far Cry 6. I never played the Far Cry games. The account I lost at Rocket Man and Ant? Oh no. How'd you lose the account? Wish I could give my heart a double pop collar frat boy outfit. Oh my god. That would tilt so many people. Actually, would anybody... I don't know. I wonder how many people would remember that, Luffy. I got Russell from a season pack, but I haven't been using it. Russell showed up in some games yesterday. I don't remember whose game it was, but it's part of the intro for the video. Because the animation for Russell is super cool. Like, it looks awesome. Alright, Sgrunkly. Here we go. Alright, we're zoning into an Sgrunkly game. Our hero here in the blue trunks on Lights Out. The notes say, sometimes there's games like these, and then there's some others that tilt me to the bottom of my grundle. I mean, yeah. It happens. It happens. So we get a droney opener from Sgrunkly, which is weird. Now, the response from the bad guy is even weirder. It's just Cottontail. I don't... What is happening in this? I'm already flabbergasted, chat. Like, what is happening? What if the skin meta could be given to hearts? I don't follow what you mean. If Phobies did add trading, it'd have to be a stress unlock. I doubt they ever will. Online games don't really do trading anymore. So we get a triple panic point advantage good guy here. Floppus Maximus, true. We should get a skin. So if we get skins, now I want Flopsy with the gladiator helmet. You know, the one where, you know what I'm talking about, the Russell Crowe movie with like the spikes on it and stuff. That would be super cool. That would be super cool. That would actually just be a really cool helmet to like put on any phobie. That would be awesome. I love your Hero X Villain themes for these reviews. I mean, it's always... The people sending in reviews of the hero. I don't know what you're talking about. They just are. I'm stating the facts. But anyway, still triple panic point advantage, and bad guy just has no interest in getting involved in here, which I get. But, like, this is a tiny map. This damage adds up. 3650. Like, look at this. It's already half health. The Spud positioning definitely makes sense. And Baby Snakey rounds out the forces for our hero here. I think bad guy's just playing too passive. We'll see if they turn this around. Given that Grunkly was indicating they were getting tilted, maybe they make an egregious error here or something? The cat obviously didn't need to be there. That feels like an overconfidence mistake. At this point in the game, I would be overconfident because it's like, yeah, I'm crapping on everybody. So this Spud is going to die if it stays here, unless a number of things happen. Okay, never mind. This is actually enough. How big is this Baby Snakey? 545? Oh, there's only a level 6 Murder Wing. Okay. I thought the Murder Wing would have more health, but ultimately it's going to go down, so yeah, that Spud's going to live even if Hevo tees off on it, or should. Let me just double check. This isn't like a level 1 Spud or something. Yeah, the Spud will survive. Wait, what?
Oh, that will leave a mark.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought something weird was gonna happen. I didn't notice the turn counter. I usually don't look at it. The tilted part is the hard games, then there's this game when it ends in about... Yeah, exactly. I was confused, Scroll. I thought you were in the notes, like, telling us a story about how this happens, but this absolutely... Yeah, you just dominated this person. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they were playing for the daily quest? Maybe. Maybe. I'll be honest, I haven't completed a quest in Phobies in, like, 2 seasons. Other than the lippy one to play games. I don't think I've completed a quest in, like, 2 seasons. Legitimately. I don't even pay attention. I forget. Get a little hydrate action. But yeah, this was absolutely a drubbing. Just clobbered him. I never do any of the quests. I would if I was paying attention, but I just kind of forget. I'm not going to alter my play patterns to do quests. I will re-roll until I get a quest for a phobia that, like, I'm going to use regularly, sort of thing. Each stress unlock gives you skin for your heart, kind of the same aesthetic as stress level phobia, and of course there could be skins in the... You know, honestly, okay, so that's actually a cool thing, Sgrunkly. That's a cool idea that I don't think I mentioned in my skin video, but skins for the heart would actually be great because that has no gameplay implications. Everyone knows what the heart is, where it's going to be. I mean, the first time you zone in, it'll probably be like, that's weird, but, you know, you're going to get it after like 10 seconds. There's never going to be a moment of like, oh, well, that's a phobia. Or what phobia is that if you have a blue gin sting, sort of thing. Skins for the heart would be a great way to let people customize stuff. What if there was a zero key phobia and did nothing but help get new phobies, like unlock shards? Can't capture points, but has no HP. Everyone will have it automatically. I think that's called level 5 stress unlocks. Every 10 levels, or every 15 levels, whatever it is. It'd be nice if the devs decorated the maps and Halloween decorations for Halloween. I could see that happening, Onda, putting like a skin over it so that the maps have a skin like that. I think that would be pretty cool, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that happening. Similarly, like, I could see something happening for Christmas or something like that. I want to see the new maps. Like, I assume there will be more maps, which will be pretty cool. Aside from new phobies, so maps breathe life into other phobies, and that's the thing. I'm excited for new maps. Yeah, I'm with you, Golden. I didn't even see that. Contest maps are nice. I'm pretty sure they said those are going to get introduced into client, right? Like, that was part of the contest? Chuck is now 2.1k HP. Nice. Nice. That's a big boy. It's a big boy. All right, chap. We'll do one more game review. Then I'm going to take a break, and then we'll probably do the Fright Night Finals game reviews. What about a 2v2 mode? I don't think that's going to happen. They have responded about it. It doesn't sound... Like, if you go through Discord in the... That's actually who it is, Sgrunkly. That's the game we're going to look at. If you go in the Discord... you can see in the, like, Ask a Dev section, there was a response from Boss about 2v2. It said they've thought about it. Obviously, like, it's a whiteboarded thing, it sounds like. But it's just going to make things super complex. I think the implementation would also be nightmarish. And it also, I don't think it would be as fun as people think it is. Because imagine how long a game takes... Like, think of a medium length to long game. Now, quadruple it. Because that's probably what it's going to take. Because all those turns that were like, all right, these are easy turns, these are quick turns, we're going to bang through these. All the board states are going to get enormously more complex. It's not necessarily going to be linear complexity and therefore not a linear time game. Like, you're going to max out the time every turn. Kind of thing. 2v2 async would be impossible also. Like, think about how many games time out on you now. They're going to time out every time. And the map, yeah, exactly. Just, the map is going to be enormous. Or if it's a small map, it's just going to be, you know, a bloodbath. And then maybe the games will end really fast. I don't know. There's a lot of factors that go into it that I expect the complexity, both on the development end and the complexity on the playing end are just going to make it a non-starter. Plus, I played games that have explicitly tried to add 2v2s, like turn-based games. I'm talking about Mythgard here. And everybody said, this is awesome. It's so much fun. And guess what? Like 6 people played it. There's literally, I don't think there's a single person who would have said, no, don't implement 2v2. Well, I take that back. There's always somebody, but you get the idea. Virtually everybody says, yes, give me the stuff. But the reality is that, okay, you got all this stuff and most people don't use it. That's the problem. That's the big problem. But anyway, let's jump into this game review. So, our hero here is Fratute in the orange trunk zoning into Home Sweet Home. Shout out to Fratute, because this is actually a loss that they submitted. And the game notes are so close, again. I'd like to know, where did I go wrong? So, we'll see if we can spot the mistake. This is, okay, so, turn 1. Well, Fratute, turn 1. I don't know about the solo Jin Sting. Typically, this is and if you want to not follow the meta, that's fine. And I don't know if Fratute's in that boat or not. We'll have to see. But the meta here is basically turrets. Even if you go second here, yes, they'll cap a couple points, but you have Stabby here, you can move it up, and then you have a 1 key, and you can probably kill Stabby, or kill Cassowary, or the cat, whichever one's exposed. And then having the Stabby in position, or Bow Mangles for that matter, is really strong. I don't like the Jin Sting opener. It may be fine in general. I haven't seen it too much. But that is obviously abnormal to start. Right now, you can't really... What the... Timeout. What the hell is happening right now? Okay. Chat, I know there's a lot going on in chat, and I will look, but... What am I looking at? Alright, so bad guy is going super aggressive, and when I say super aggressive, like, they just played 4 1-drops and then sent Cassowary to the heart. So now we get the Stabby. The problem here is, well, A, Stabby has to hit this in order to kill it, so that means Stabby's pinned all the way back here. It's going to take a bunch of turns to get this into position now. They're going to get triple panic point advantage because Jin Sting is no longer in position. What I think I would have liked to have seen was Jin Sting up 1, like right below the heart. That forces a choke point here because, so, hold on, let's go back to the start of the turn. So Jin Sting could be below the heart. That means that if something is here, it could fight it. If they decide to come after you, or, you know, I guess this is okay because they're probably just going to cap this and you can hit this point. Yeah, now that I think about it, Jin Sting's probably fine. The Stabby is... It feels like it's a little slow. They're obviously going to go triple panic points, so you're going to have to heavily preserve these 2 Phobies and then follow it up with a bunch of little stuff. What I imagine they do here is probably cap all the points in bank and then try and go over the top. Maybe they're going to keep flooding the board as much as they can. I mean, it's 4 Phobies, so they can only do 1. Say. Obviously, triple panic point capture here. Given that they sent the Cassowary in, which is just bizarre, I have no idea why they didn't prep the Cowbell to go in. But, sure. So the Boomer means that you can't really fight it right now, but you do get some good splash here. That's good. You get a Murder Wing follow-up. I still think you need, like, if it's not triple 1-drop, a 2 and a 1. So that way you can fight the board and recap the points faster. Because right now, you're losing... Like, you're going to lose an enormous amount of health on your heart. You're at 45-11 already. Like, that's a huge chunk, and you still have to clean all this crap up. So, bad guy's going to bank to 8. And like I said, I have to imagine they're planning on dropping a Barzilla or a Smother Mother or a Chuck. Well, not a Chuck, a high... You know, pick an 8-drop. You are able to clean this stuff up, which is good. It does allow you to cap a point. They haven't really damaged this, have they? It's about half health. That's a little bit concerning. But the Boomer's not a threat. And obviously, that dies. The Jin Sting could die here, which means that they're going to once again have triple panic point advantage. It depends on what they do. Because, like, a Jar could show up here, but I imagine they're not doing it. So we get a Fire Ant. The positioning on the Fire Ant is a little problematic, because it could just get teed off on by Jar. And then here we should just see the cleanup on aisle 5 of the remaining little guys. So you finally stabilize from Panic Point advantage. From here, you might actually be somewhat okay. 3386, 9 keys to 12 keys remaining. Yeah, you love to see an AWOL. Unicorn and Con Man? Don't know what one that is, truthfully. This cast already has rabies. There's a reason you lead with a Unicorn and Stabby slash Bow Mangles on Home Sweet Home. It's true. It's true. Which is why I was trying to explain, this isn't just for Fratute's benefit, it's for everybody's benefit as well. Alright, so the Stabby here is a good play. You get the challenge play if you go for it. The Boomer just is running around doing nothing. I think this thing needs to get removed, though. Like, don't ignore it. You do need to clear it out, because you don't want it just being there recapping points. Them having board presence is problematic. Contortio's the con man, gotcha. So Fire Ant's teeing off on Stabby. Not gonna die to the fire. Unless... No, none of those are traps. Traps still on cooldown? It was. And Bad Guy is banked to 7. The thing is they have time to figure out what they want to do. The Quagmire follow-up I can appreciate. Like, truthfully, this all looks good right now. Until this. So, if you wanted to know where this game went south, right there. So, the Quagmire is going to live. The Murder Wing is going to live. The Jar is not. I mean, the Murder Wing will live if Bad Guy doesn't do something about it. So, they follow up with Gin Sting. And... nothing. I don't understand the point of banking here, but sure. So triple panic point advantage hero with a follow-up mother load. This game, we're about halfway through the game, chat. Honestly, like real talk, maybe that trap play was not the game, but there was absolutely no reason to just go for extra shots on this or an extra shot. You have to assume there's a trap somewhere around here. They hung out here, like, it's difficult, but you do have to be cognizant of roughly when traps can go down. We're going to find out, Fuse. Why Motherload? Arbitrary large thing, probably. You have 7 keys. Honestly, from this position, I kind of agree with Chad, and that's why Fratute's asking. And again, shout out to Fratute, because it takes courage to put yourself out there when you lose and say, hey, somebody look at my game and help me. So, more than anything, that is already step 1 to improving, is looking for outside input. It's a pride hit, and it's difficult for many people to do that, myself included. So, again, shout out to Fratute. Especially when it's something like this, where everybody's reaction is, well, how could you possibly lose this? Well, clearly there was a way, so we're going to learn. I think Motherload is fine here. You have... now you're maxed out on Phobies. There's an argument to bank for something else. You know, just hold on to stuff. But Motherload is good enough. This is not good. So, I can only assume that the thought was the Gin Sting is not going to come in. But you can't punish and invade from the Gin Sting, because this will be dead. And then you hit it with 1, 2, 3. And that exposes Motherload to Thunder Rocks. Here, the way you lose this game is you just throw away your advantage. Which, yes, that sounds super vague and stupid, but losing a phobie here, losing a phobie there, like the Jar, like this Murder Wing, are ways that you lose this game. on one hand, you say, oh, well, the jar doesn't, or the murder wing doesn't matter that much. It was already low health. It was only going to get one more meatball off. But one more meatball is significant. Is this async or arena? If async, I can understand forgetting the trap for sure. I'm not sure. We can check. But at this stage, panic point advantage, since it's been triple for so long, 1,400 to 3,161. Our hero has taken a big lead. So at this point, you have to... We'll see if there's another trap activation. But you have to be thinking there's another trap. And again, if it's async, yeah, sure, you got it. Because it's tough to follow it in async. This is a good play because it locks off this panic point. The risk here is, what if they put the trap on this panic point? So maybe it's not great. You definitely reposition the mother... Oh, no. Maybe this is a thumbnail. Maybe this is thumbnail. This actually looks pretty cool. Did you know, chat, that the explosion like that, you can, like, look at this. Look at the explosion. I like the way you can see, like, different parts of it. It's not just, like, 2D. It's actually, there are other sides to it. Sorry, I'm amazed by little things as we're looking at this. But this could be a thumbnail. Ginsting, yeah. So, at the end of the day, despite this... Because here's the worst part. You step on the trap, it obviously activates there. The stabby's going to die. Not to the fire, though. They have to kill it. Oh, no, they have bees. Oh, no. Oh, no. So they have bees. So stabby is going to die to the fire. So Ginsting is going to die. Played pretty well. The two traps and letting the murder wing get AoE'd were rough. Yes. The traps were ultimately what did it. If you don't step on those traps, I legitimately don't think you can lose. As long as you actually take actions on your turn, I don't think you can lose. Now, the fire ant goes down, so no more traps. Quagmire is pretty beefy. But not quite that beefy. So did the motherlode have to back off here? I think you don't retreat the motherlode either. You just take the damage. Because what is this Thunder Rocks at? 15? I think you don't retreat the motherlode there. You take the damage. Oh, you definitely don't do that. Well, doesn't matter. I think you needed the damage on these things. Like, you had to kill these things. I think you were still in a potentially winnable position, but... Down goes our hero. The lob trap meta. Only you know, in Alien Engineer, you opened it 9 Dreadfuls and didn't get an ultra rare. I think I'm somewhere around there, honestly. GG. So I think for Fratute, there were actually, we can go back in and highlight the specific turns. This felt like a throw. I mean, yes, that's what Fratute's saying. Like, what? When they're looking... Because Fratute knew that they did something wrong. The stabilization here, I think, could have been a little different. Would it have been better? Maybe, maybe not. It obviously worked out mostly fine. It was certainly serviceable. But it was this turn, I think. Was it this turn that it went down? Yeah, so this thing was positioned here. The only relevant trap that it can place is here. I mean, there are some people that'll mind game and put the trap back here, but I'm going to go out on a limb that 9 out of 10 players are putting the trap onto the center panic point. This obviously plays in turns later, but you do have to be cognizant of the fact that it's there. These traps are a big deal. Like, it's not a random-ass trap. So this cooks the jar and the murder wing. So even if you hit this trap, because honestly, putting the Quagmire on the trap is fine. Who cares? Did the murder wing need to be here this turn? The murder wing got pulled in. So let's say you don't do the second hit with the jar. You just do one hit and pull back. You kill this. Oh my god, this had another action. Okay, yeah, this murder wing cannot be here. These two things, because this murder wing now is, that's why the murder wing is so low later on and is able to get killed by the bees. This is actually a great game to learn from. If you are not watching this on YouTube, I know people skip. I'm going to put it in the aftermath because people need to go back and look at this. This is the thing. Phobies games get decided very early on and people don't necessarily realize it. Yes, there were other mistakes that were made, but these are things that, like, this game was clearly in the bag for Fratute until two rather egregious errors happen and then other little ones across the course of the game. So the trap earlier means that now this set of bees hits. Clearly the murder wing didn't necessarily have to be there. Both of these mistakes felt like a combination of overconfidence, and I'm not Fratute, don't take it personally. Like, I've been in that position. It's just what it seems like. Where it's like, I'm in such a dominating position, I can't win, I can't lose. I'm going to position like this and just do it. But yeah, the traps ultimately did it. And it was minor positioning things. It was minor positioning things. You know, like a stray bees hit. Not moving the murder wing to begin with. I also think you still could have won it at the end here with some better positioning here. You're never going to get to their heart. They can't let you in because then you just win immediately, right? Or pretty close to it. So you either need to ensure that you cannot lose these panic points. Meaning, like, maybe run Quagmire away all the way. Or you leave, if you left the mother load there, it would have gone down to 1,000. It could not get hit by this. This hits this twice for 8,944. And this is already here. So then you 9,13. So you could kill the Thunder Rocks with the mother load. No, wait. So that's 9. I'm going to have to actually count this up. I'm not counting it in my head. I just refuse to do it. So this is 1542. So you would have to hit Thunder Rocks twice with Mother Load. Odds are the Quagmire might not die. Yeah, the Quagmire won't die if you kill the Thunder Rocks with the combination of these two. That leaves roughly a 1,000 health Mother Load and a living Quagmire. It only matters that it lives. Because if the Quagmire lives, it requires an attack from Ginsting. Now, Ginsting probably hits and does what? Walks away? And then either you move in with Mother Load, get the first shot, they can't kill you on the return, so they hit and run, and then they're seeding the panic points. Or they don't engage you, and they walk away entirely, and you just win on the panic points / punching their heart. I think this game is still winnable just from here. Unless I'm missing something in YouTube, let me know down in the comments. Likes and subscribes too. But that was a really good game. If you are just skipping the game reviews, YouTube, look at this Fratute game review because I think it highlights a variety of things that are very important. If the hoodie had our nickname on it, I think it's just going to be general. I would expect it to be general Phobies stuff. But you could always get it, like your name stitched into it or something like that. Now imagine a level 11 Grimes doing it. It would be pretty mean. It would be pretty mean. Time for the rematch? Alright. Go ahead, send it. Send it, Doge. On Crypto. Crypto! It's true, Kratosss. On to the Kaboom Gaming on back of the hoodie. I've been thinking about getting some, like, I don't know if people notice it, but I have a, what the hell are those things called? A tumbler? Like, one of those little water bottle things, that has the Random Thoughts logo on it. My wife got it for me. Forget what the occasion was. But she got it for me. And I was thinking about, like, I have a couple Random Thoughts playmats that I've used for physical gaming, when we could still do that. But I haven't quite figured out if I want to bother. I don't know. You tell me, Chad. Would people be interested if I had, like, Random Thoughts t-shirts made or something like that? Like, does anybody care? I assume no, but, I mean, maybe. I want to raise you did a really good job. God bless him. Well, shout out to my parents, Kratosss. Shout out to my parents. I appreciate that, and I will honestly tell them that. Maybe not that. Hey, Kratosss in my Twitch chat said that, but I'll say that Twitch chat was saying it. Nah. Hold on. We want to do this. Then we'll do this. Can we kill this without meatballing? Yes, we can. Alright, that's good enough. Oh, okay, Kratosss, cool. I prefer to do internet names. The only reason I say that is, like, it's a... You know, it's a modern world thing. I work in IT, I know how much data gets collected on people, sort of thing. Make them. I might do it, Golden. I'll pitch the idea. I usually run it by the subscribers. Obviously, the subscribers are invested enough to subscribe. I've talked about doing a Patreon before. I could do it through there. Or it would be, like, instead of Patreon, it might be Ko-Fi or something like that. Because apparently Ko-Fi is better for rates. But, you know, it's an idea I've toyed with. I didn't mean to zoom in there. That was an error. I don't know if his wife would like us loving him. I'll ask her. Don't worry about it, Kratosss. It was a lot of people, it was like baby's first tournament. So don't worry about it. Oh, Thinny, good luck. Thanks for hanging out. Alright, so we can't do what I wanted to do, which was cap this point, quite obviously. We want to maintain the cat just because it can recap points. This is fine if it were to... 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we want to leave it there. We want this here so that way we can do this. 750, 12. Actually, no, that's fine. This is probably fine. He said hopefully. Get a little AWOLage going. Yeah, I should have sent the cat up top. I was thinking about keeping it down here in the event that there was like an invade kind of thing so that I could get extra damage, but realistically that wasn't going to happen. You like hearing me laugh? It happens. I wasn't doing that laugh on purpose. It comes up every once in a while. So I guess we just bank at this stage? Like, we don't have to do anything. Oh, I should have expected a trap down here. That feels like it was obvious. That feels like it was obvious, and I should have seen that coming. What? Alright, we got Chuck. Should have expected Chuck. Should have anticipated the Chuck. We haven't actually done that much damage to our opponent. Because we haven't held the triple panic point advantage, so we'll have to see. This choke point already exists, because I'm debating, like, putting the block here, but does that do anything for us? We're gonna try this. Block the bottom usually helps with Chuck. I was considering it because then it funnels everything, but I don't know if I want to do that. Poor cat is right. A cat got a raw deal out of this. Chuck strat on this map tends to involve blocking top and bottom. I could see that. I mean, it forces you to funnel through the choke point. Chad, how stable is the stream right now? Because all the numbers look good, but it's giving me like a weird connection thing going on. It looks like it's okay. Just a big lag spike? Okay. Yeah, my internet might be crapping out because I can see it flailing. Oh boy. I might be Twitch because my game is still fine. Can't get Chuck on Spa yet? Yeah, I can't do that. Oh, on Stim, you mean. Well, there it is. Are you going to body block? No, they're going to run it away. It's not quite going to work out the way you want it to. I have a surprise. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, exactly, dogewhal. So yeah, hopefully when I pull this later, the Twitch VOD is not messed up. It probably will be. It probably will be, which sucks. I don't know why it was flaking out, because my game didn't stutter, but again, this turn-based maybe... Birkin Leapercarn. Now, obviously, Foul dies here, right? I don't have to worry about the ability anymore. I already got the disease I wanted. I mean, it matters, but, like... Does it matter? I was debating Hevo, but I feel like going something a little more standard, because I think I'm going to need more one-drops. This game isn't over. That'll get Scary High 500 curse damage is nuts. Yeah, like, the disease is pretty big. Even at level 1, it's 400. Like, this is a lot of damage. But clearly the Foul is dead. Like, there's no... It was going in on a suicide mission. Why does the Foul ability have the Murder Wing ability sound? Good question. I don't know that we kill this, I'm just testing it. I could have counted up the... Because the numbers are way less weird at level 1. Oh yeah, there's no way. There's no shot. Opponent still has 2 keys left. It's not out of the realm of possibility for them to win this game. Like, they're still in a pretty decent spot. It just matters how quickly this goes down, like, how they utilize it from here. Probably should have just pulled everything back so that way Chuck can't even remotely touch it. Why not leave Chuck on the stim then instead of moving him down? Is it worth wasting a move to expend Gravedigger's obstacle removal? I don't know if Doge knew that it was going to happen. Like, they might have missed that play. I don't know. We'll have to ask Doge when they come back and chat. Or if they're here now. I've said it before. People are stream sniping or we're doing this and you're listening to my commentary while we're doing it. I don't care. It's fine. Chat, I didn't get any of those lag spikes while I was doing the game review. Did I? I wasn't looking directly at OBS. I was checking on chat, but I didn't look at that part of OBS. If it turns out they're there, I'll just have to redo it offline. Which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. We didn't? Okay, cool. So this is a lob. Like, do we do something like this? The AWOL's been kind of useless. So this can hit it for 375. 7. So this will be a dead Murder Wing if we had it on there. I don't think this damage matters. Like, possibly we want to avoid getting the Klepto hit by the Chuck. Hit the grave. Yeah, you're right. That would be the better play if I was going to do it, but I thought about it, and, like, I don't think we get anything out of it. You know what I mean? Like, we get some damage on these, but who cares? That's not what's winning us the game right now. They're down to 2,600. Like, our opponent has to do basically this. There's definitely a whole bunch of traps down here. Chuck is going to leech Klepto, but it has to stand on the lava, and it's going to be taking splash, and it's going to be taking disease. I'm not worried about it. It might just die from the, I mean, these three should be dead this turn. That's the goal. Kill these three. Oh, Chuck didn't do it. Yeah, Chuck cannot be there because Chuck will die. But that means Chuck is just going to die in 2 turns anyway. So if there was a trap there, hold on. 500. So we can't cap this point with AWOL because there's probably a trap on this, on the center point from a million turns ago, or I assume there was. I decided too late. Murderwing probably shouldn't be here. I want the Resurrect, but that, in retrospect, that's not worth it. I should have just gone Cowbell. My toe hurts. I went to get... You went to get pancakes? That's so random, but funny. This is why I didn't want this here. I realized it too late in the turn. Are we throwing, chat? We might be throwing. Am I the only one that loves potato salad? I don't mind it. It's not like I'm going to sit down and be like, you know what I have a hankering for? Some potato salad. Like, that's not happening, but I'll eat it. So we're basically just waiting out the Chuck, right? You can kill Chuck? We might have been able to. We might have been able to, but they can't kill any of our stuff. And if they advance Chuck, it's clearly dead. Are you gonna kill the Ted? Is that the plan right now? Okay, that's reasonable. So you're gonna do 7,850. Probably kill the Murder Wing, but that means both of these are gonna be well, no, you could go here and here, I guess, but then that dies. That's fine. Whatever. I think potato salad deserves a chomp. Nice. Meant to reply to the toe line. Did Toe Crusher get you? But I wanted to last second say something about Chuck, so my goofy ass forgot to not reply. So you're saying you made an arena error in chat, Sgrunkly. Is that what you're telling me right now? That you hit undo too many times during your turn, and then it ended up getting you? Is that what happened? Because that's what it sounds like. GG, well played, Doge. Well played. I do really like doing the challenge games, and if you want to challenge the streamer, come by the live stream RTChompGG over on Twitch. Links in the description, likes and subscribes, all that blah blah blah. You heard it 1,000 times already. If you made it this far in the video, you already know. Another GG to foul, true. Honestly, like that, I had the keys to spare, so it may not have been foul. It could have been a different answer, but I would have probably had to go into like Miss Moffat to yoink Chuck earlier than that. That would have realistically been the answer for me if I didn't have foul. Probably could have made Brony work more than Firkin. Maybe the problem is that once I got the disease activated, like the Chuck was dead. It was just a matter of when. Closer than the last game, though? True. True. Hey, Bozo, what's good? To be fair, that is some gross-ass chicken, Golden. That chicken is gross. Piscetti could have come out, too. I also had Piscetti, but my Piscetti's super under-leveled. What is the disease? It's 400 on foul. Yeah, the Piscetti is, like... It's just cheaper foul for when you don't want to spend 7 keys. Otherwise, you're probably just spending the 7 keys, right? Reminds me of that giant chicken that went viral. I'm not sure if that's a pun because funky chicken, or if there was actually a giant chicken that went viral and I don't remember it. Piscetti is fun because of Hunt, mostly. Alright, chat. I think what we're going to do is one last game review to close out the night. I was thinking about doing some variety, but obviously we just had a ton of games reviews to go through. If we didn't have the streamer challenges, which I'm not saying don't do them, but if we didn't have them, we probably would have switched to Hunt or something like that for tonight. But can we challenge anytime we want, or is there a limited challenge for the stream? It's 2 per person per stream. And there's a cooldown on it, so if somebody just challenged, you gotta wait. We probably won't get one in tonight, because by the time I do this game review, it's gonna probably be almost stream over. We'll see. If this is a quick game, I don't know which game it is. There we go. Alright, another viewer-submitted game review, this time by Morbid Fates, our hero in the orange trunks. The notes here are absolutely insane game. I managed to barely pull it off. Or I barely managed to pull it off. I misread it. Bad guy went with Snowball, banked to 6. Hero started with Noxious. That is something that is likely not to die from a mere 6 keys at this range. But yeah, you can put it up whenever, Kratosss. Obviously, like, if we have something scheduled, like, if you challenge me in the middle of, say, me doing the finals, that's why Doge waited. Because I said I wanted to do the game review for the finals. I would have said, alright, well, I'll do it, but you gotta wait. In this case, we may close up the stream before we have enough time. So, we'll see. Because I am kind of tired from yesterday. We'll be streaming tomorrow, but we're going to be variety night. So, to follow up the Noxious, we get a Stairmaster. This is a very interesting opening from both players. I don't really like the creep from our bad guy, because singular poison here, especially this early in the game, what is that going to do? They just go sit on the... Like, what does this do? You're going to possibly spit with the Noxious and then just go on the healing spa, but the thing that does matter, what does matter, is Chuck. Chuck. That's a big deal. I almost would have said leave the Noxious alone. Like, one thing you could have done here, which would have been funny, you wouldn't have... It probably would not have been worth it, because it's not disease and the poison isn't huge, but you could have gone in on their healing spa and then puked on Chuck. I don't think it would have been worth it, but it's a play you could have made. We get a sheep as follow-up. This is a much better set of poison to deal with Chuck. That's another thing that I could have used in the... And I did consider in the previous challenge game, was using sheep to fight the Chuck. Could have easily poisoned the Chuck and just starved it of HP. Yes, but it's not going to kill it. Like, this is still going to be a Chuck that... It has 2,200 health. You're taking, like, 13 or 1,400? Like, it's not enough. It's not enough. I also would have poisoned the creep, not the snowballer. I wouldn't use poison at all. Yeah, I can get the permanent poison on the creep. It does force a reposition of the snowball, but I think it's a waste. I think it's a waste there. Yes, they're going to do this, and on top of it, they are... Like, they're not losing anything, because the snowball has to kind of back out due to the fireball on previous turns anyway. But we're getting repositioning here. It's a 4-to-1 panic point advantage hero. So, odds are, like, they are pretty far ahead here, despite the Chuck. However, Chuck's army is, in fact, growing. The bad guy is collecting their forces, doing their best Saruman impression. Do we have the March of the Ents to counter it? My wife is super excited about the Lord of the Rings show, chat. We actually have a bunch of shows that we're watching, or we're going to be watching. Like, we just started Sandman. I'm very excited about watching that. I want to watch the Harley Quinn show. I know that's been out for a while. C is coming back. I think it actually came back yesterday. There's a bunch of stuff. But anyway, I don't know what this cat was doing. Probably just, you know, it's doing things. Seems like a frivolous expenditure. I'd rather have the body for backcapping points. But now it's 4-to-1 panic points going the other way, and Smiley is the follow-up. There are, in fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 phobies that are not mechanical on our hero side. So this could be bad. Could be bad. Alright, so we get a block break instead of a block in order to get the hits going down on this Hevo. It also allows the Temptress to hit from a safer position. And the Noxious positioning is cool because while it can get hit by the Chuck, it does threaten the poison onto said Chuck. Cassowary is going to probably sacrifice its life to recap this point, and we get Fish Tank as the answer for Smiley. Halfway through the game, this is still looking pretty decent for our hero. Obviously a little bit behind panic point-wise, potentially phobie quality-wise, you can make that argument. But really, the Cyclops is going to stand its ground. I guess that's not that surprising because of the lava there. But yes, Cassowary does in fact pay with its life, manages to only cap a panic point. And then we get Innocuous as the follow-up. So the game plan here is you need to reclaim another panic point from the bad guy here, but how are you going to do that? This is... okay. I think the idea is just the poison is not going to be great against Chuck because it's going to leech so much life. It's just too easy for that to happen, I think. But this is offering the sheep up to Smiley, which is interesting. Jar rounds out the forces as Temptress caps the top. So panic point advantage does go to our hero, and they're in a pretty solid defensive position. But this turn could be very bad. This turn could go sideways very, very quickly. Oh, maybe not. They're going to instead elect to try and heal the snowball. Do we get a Chuck reposition? No. Okay. Makes sense because you don't want the Chuck to just randomly get poisoned. By the sheep, that is. The Cyclops staying down here is a little strange because it's not getting involved in the fight. Obviously, the sheep is going to help out with Smiley. It's already been diseased. I guess this was a bait at this stage to try and trade them. Because you are, in fact, able to trade with the combination attacks here. Stair Masher? I guess he mashes things. He more lasers things. But Stair Master eliminates the creep, which allows... well, it doesn't allow, but the Noxious is able to go in, take over the stem, 2 turns on the poison, so that's no longer in the game plan. This thing isn't even going to survive. The Noxious is just dead. I don't know if that's a worthwhile trade. But 0 keys for our bad guy and 7 keys remaining for our hero. Unfortunately, the Temptress does eat it. I don't think this invade on the snowball was worth it. Sheep is beelining, but, I mean, it's diseased. It's in range of everything. It's gonna die. So it's really just a decoy where bad guy has to decide which threat are you gonna deal with. It does lock in Klepto, though, so it's gonna get beat up by this Stairmaster. That's kind of cool. And Motherload is the last phobie. We've been seeing a lot of Motherload tonight for some reason. Having mixed feelings about this coconut cream that I'm eating. There's a nice bit of sourness in the yogurt that I like, the aftertaste of coconut. I don't know if I actually like the mix together all too good. Sometimes that happens where it's like, these are all things I like, but the combination tastes like crap. It happens. Sometimes it could just be the day. I've definitely had that. So in fact, the sheep does go down like a lamb to the slaughter. Had to sneak that one in. Cyclops comes in. What is Fish Tank end up? Oh my god, this Fish Tank down to 246. This invade may have been ill-advised. Obviously, you're going to take down the Klepto. The question is, are you just running the Fish Tank away? No. Going after the heart. 3 to 2 panic point advantage, 2570 to 7200. Alright, fair. Motherload is going to keep things occupied. It's going to be very difficult. Like, is the game decided already? It might be. Chuck does the obvious, takes down the Fish Tank. You can't let that live. But that means there's no way there's enough damage for all of this to take down the Motherload. Back cap by the Cyclops. Does our hero decide to go Heart, or does our hero decide to go Phobies? It looks like Heart. I think that's the correct choice. That alcove up here is actually a cool spot for the jar. Motherload ends up capping the panic point, makes it a 3 to 2 panic point advantage once again for our hero. 1200 health. There's just no way to get enough damage. I don't even know if you can kill the Motherload. Presumably not. They go for the Stairmaster. Hero's going to take it down with some good old-fashioned heart punching. You love to see those. You love to see those. Get a little flash at the end. Boom! Motherload seems good. Seems good. GG. Well played, Morbid. Well played. I can see where that game started to go south. It doesn't... I don't know. It's one of those where... I mean, we did break down the Fratute game where... You could argue there's no game where you were... Well, maybe not no game. You could pick the very last turn sort of thing. But there are what people consider to be unlosable positions that are absolutely not unlosable. And in that particular case, it's possible that Morbid could have thrown due to that invade. But simultaneously, it felt like they were just so far ahead that it's like... I don't know, what the hell's your opponent going to do? What does it matter? I mean, it matters, but ultimately, hero takes it down. GG Morbid. I think we're going to call it a little early tonight. Tomorrow is Variety. I'm right now planning on playing Mythgard. Next week, we're going to be playing a lot of the Cowabunga collection, if I can help it. That comes out in literally 2 days. I am 100% buying that immediately. So we're going to be playing some tournament fighters. I got to lab that a little bit, kind of get back into it. I want to see, I'm very curious whether they're going to patch things. Did they change anything? Is it literally the old game? I'm not the one who's going to have to figure that out. They're way better fighting game players than me that are going to figure that out, and I'll just follow their YouTube sort of thing. But I did love that game back in the day, so I'm hoping that it's not rose-colored glasses. But like I said, tomorrow's probably going to be Mythgard. Haven't played it in a long time. We'll see what the changes look like. I think we're going to be playing some Spirit Burn. If you're not familiar with Mythgard, it's a really cool game. I know I got a couple people when we did the Mythgard breakdown to start playing it. And I'm excited to jump in again. We'll probably end up with a few faces that have not been in stream in a while because they usually come out when I do it. We'll be back at the end of the week with more Phobies. I will let people know about more Fright Night stuff as soon as I have more information. Trying to think what else, any other news that or housekeeping items that we have to cover. I think that's about it. I'm going to do my best to try and make sure that I'm getting the Fright Night stuff out as quickly as possible. Like, the finals probably won't go out until next week. I got to get, like, the other streams up so that way I can get, like, people were expecting their game reviews to go up, so I want to make sure that we're about a month behind on streams. Like, I have the ones that went up this weekend were, I think I might have had one of the earliest ones in August go up this weekend, so we're roughly right in there. And obviously days are going to be chewed up by some of the Fright Night stuff, some of the other videos. One thing we didn't do tonight was one of the higher level game breakdowns. I do want to do those more frequently. My goal is to try and do one a stream. We'll see. But that means, it can't be a Fright Night weekend where that happens, sort of thing, where other stuff going on, because it just chews up more time. But chat, let me know in Discord. If you're not part of the Discord, !Discord. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's in the description. Likes and subscribes, blah, blah, blah. Got to get all that in. Come by the live stream, RTChompGG over on Twitch. Let me know what other content you want to see. I'll probably publish the first Phobies article soon. I wanted to double check some of the numbers to make sure that I don't just embarrass myself. At this point, I kind of just want to push it live. I don't know. We'll see. And we'll see what else Phobies brings, because we're closing in on the new update. That should be launching we're almost into September, so not very much longer until Halloween. But either way, that's going to do it for tonight. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And Black Lives Matter.